I hate soccer.
Hi, buddy.
Look at this. What's
How are you?
not as good as you. Not as good as
What are you
you.
talking about? Not as good as me. What are you talking about?
How is life?
Pretty good, brother. How are you? You were just in South Africa
Yeah, for holidays, for a week.
for a holiday with you and Mecca.
Macarena.
Yeah.
Maca, yeah, you still remember the name? Yeah, well done.
Of course I do, dude.
Be careful, she's listening in the background.
Oh no.
No, no, it's yeah. We went to South Africa for a week. You know, I'm in Ethiopia, right?
No, I didn't. I thought you were still in
London.
still in London. Is it for the hotels or what is it?
No, Macarena was working in the hotels. I was I was there 2 years working at Arsenal Women's. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
And then I quit that one, difficult one, but I think I
Yeah.
made the right choice. Then I started teaching in an state school in London, like public school. Great,
Yep.
fantastic. For 5 years, and then we moved to Ethiopia, and I started working in the American school here in Ethiopia in the embassy school.
Okay. So are you teaching? So what are you teaching?
I'm teaching middle school physical and health education, PE, basically. I'm
Wonderful.
doing head of physical and health education, and next year I'll be teaching high school, and then I'm coaching football, the varsity team, yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. So
So
is
it's
it is the
giving me
sport
a good balance.
is the countries the border nations? Is it
Uh,
is it like Europe or is it
no.
It's
No,
checkpoints and,
And you need a
okay.
visa. Yeah. No.
All right. What about to South Africa? Were you just able to go or
South Africa. Yeah, you just fly to South Africa, and then you, for example, they have I don't know what it's called, but if you're Spanish, you don't even need to apply for a visa. You just go with your passport. So if you're American,
Yep.
you know, like sometimes they have these deals between the countries.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're American, I think you can go anywhere. Like you got the best passport ever. And then you realize when you live here, right? You realize like the power of the passport. You take it for granted, right? Like you're American, I'm Spanish.
Right.
But then, for example, if you are born in Ethiopia, you don't have a passport. And if you want the passport, you need to apply for it. You need to pay a lot of money. Not everyone can get a passport in Ethiopia, and they can deny the passport to you. So
Right.
if the government says, I don't give you a passport, I don't give you a passport.
Wow. What year did you guys go to Ethiopia?
3 years ago now.
3 years, so
This is,
2022?
yeah, this is year 3 for us. Very happy. We're very happy.
Yeah. Wow. How's the soccer there?
Uh, but to be honest, like if you walk, so if you walk in the street, you see kids playing football all the time,
Right.
all the time. Because I thought Ethiopia was more like a running country, you know, like they have a lot of
Yeah.
reputation in long distance running, marathon, and
Yeah.
but football is that's what they breathe. And if you go like the weekends when it's Premier League, you should see like all the bars and everything. Like they're crazy with football, absolute crazy with
Yeah.
football. The problem is there are no systems. The country is very poor. You know what I mean? So they just play in the streets and yeah,
No club
just
system. Is there a pro league there? Is there a professional league?
yeah. There is one. There is a pro league, and but yeah, very different. Very different.
Yeah. So do the pro teams there have youth academies at all or no?
Yeah, they do. But I'm not sure like to what levels. I know they have like an under 21 team, under 19. But the thing is that at the end of the day, you need to be exposed to better competition. You know what I mean, in order to get better. But for example, I think Isaac, the one Newcastle, the striker.
Yep.
he was born in Eritrea. Eritrea was part of Ethiopia.
Okay.
So that's kind of like so I mean, like, the talent is there, is no question. The problem is that you're not exposed to real competition. And I think now there is it's been like the best or the highest signing in women's football, this American player that just signed up for Chelsea women's.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's Girmay, the last
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Naomi Girma.
No,
Yep.
Ethiopian background. Girma is an Ethiopian last name. So I think it's mom is Ethiopian and dad or whatever it is, but Ethiopian background.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow. What's the language there? It's
Amharic. Impossible to learn. Like, no chance. You
well,
just learn
you learn
the
English.
numbers.
You learn
Yeah.
English. Your English is so good.
Yeah. No, now it's better than it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't just watch like Ethiopian movies and like learn it.
No chance.
Like that's how you learn English.
Yeah, that's how I learned it. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's actually sometimes I think about, like, when I was there. I don't know how the players understood what I was saying. I guess, like, I was very passionate, right? But at the very beginning, like, geez,
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, tell me about you. What's going on?
Nothing. I mean, I got the facility and have PlayMaker Training still, and all the kids that are still around. Like I just had, Ben Schmidt. You remember Ben?
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
So Ben's like helping me coach on
Fun.
Friday nights with just a youth team or a couple youth teams that we train. And then, do you remember any of the girls? Do you remember Ella Rudney? Ella Rudney?
It rings a bell, man.
Yeah, she's playing at Nebraska, and she was in today. And you trained her, and she was part of Pedro's camp.
Okay.
And what was that? 2017 now?
Yeah. More, I'm. It's 8 years ago. That quick.
So I haven't seen you in 8 years.
Yeah. It's just time flies.
Yeah. And then other than, the PlayMaker Training stuff, it's this podcast thing has been so much fun. It's been so much
That's
fun.
awesome.
People are contacting me left and right to come on, and I'm like, I want to do everything in person unless you're out of the country, right?
Yeah,
So I just did one with a guy that's in Romania, and then you messaged me, and I'm like, absolutely, get you on, because I mean all of your background, but also I miss you, and I mean Buffalo is a little bit different. Flash is massive. Flash is just gigantic because GPS kind of fell apart. You probably knew that.
Yeah. I knew
GPS fell apart, and then all the guys that like Ryan Louie, he's at Flash now, and so the boys' side on the Flash are very good and competitive now. Because all the GPS boys pretty much came over there.
Who is running the Flash? Like same
Eric
people?
Dade. Eric Dade. He was, I think he's originally from around here. He moved to Texas, came up as a coach, and then everybody loves him. Everybody works and speaks highly of him. Aaron is on the boys' side now. Aaron is not on the girls' side anymore. He's actually coaching his son, Max. And other than that, I mean, nobody else is really still there other than Brittany and Regan.
Oh, wow. And they're still coaching there.
They're still coaching there. Brittany is pretty high up. She is the ECNL director of the girls, and Regan's the ECNL director of the boys, I believe. They're kind of it's Eric, it's Regan, and it's Brittany. Yeah.
Okay. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. And do you do some individual coaching with players from Flash? You have some?
Yep. Still doing the one-on-one stuff. slowly kind of taking that out and only doing like more small groups. But the players that we've had for multiple years, we're going to still do one-on-ones with. But for the most part, it's teams and it's small groups now, because the one-on-ones could be, kind of exhausting and whatnot.
Listen, very well done to you, because I saw you like starting that business, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that, like, man, if you stayed and it would have been you and I, it's been like grow.
Mate, like,
I mean, it would have been even more insane. But now, remember when I started this, I was like the first guy to do this for full time.
yeah.
I was the first one to have like the business model. Now there's probably 10 individual training companies that are just like us.
But it's not the same.
It's crazy.
But I'm sure it's not the same, because you are 7, 8, 5, or 10 years in front of them. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. This is my 10th year.
But that's what I mean, right? Like, I can start to know the business, and it could be good. I'm not saying it has to be bad, but you know what I mean? Like, experience, you cannot buy experience. You can buy a nice facility, you can start the business, but the experience.
Yep. And I'm still not club affiliated. So a lot of other clubs aren't worried about losing players. Like if I were coaching at Flash, the Empire or Stallions guys wouldn't send me players like they do right now. So, and vice versa. So,
and also I guess like building relationships and the trust. You know what I mean? Like, you probably get a lot of players, not only because of that, but also mouth to mouth, and you know what I mean, like connections.
Yep, absolutely. So what are you doing? What else are you coaching? You started.
I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing too many things, which is always good. So my full-time job is teaching in the school. Okay, so that's my full-time job. I'm coaching the varsity team, the football team, because I love it, and it's a really nice group of boys, and it's good fun. And then I did a lot of, or I've been doing in my life, a lot of mentoring to teachers. Okay. So new qualified teachers. I started that in England, like just teaching teachers, kind of like the first step in the business. Okay, so I did that, and then I've done a little bit of like coaching one-to-one sessions, but in terms of like the mental side of the game. Okay, so it's more like coaching your mentality. Okay, so if you think about soccer, what is the main focus? Is technical coaching, like technical ability, coaching like tactical, physical, but all in on the football pitch, right, on the field,
right.
But I'm working with a couple of players, a couple of coaches as well, basically on mental resilience, mental toughness, how to control your emotions, how to block negativity. So kind of like, basically, I don't know, you want to call it coaching, you want to call it mentoring, but it's kind of like working on that cognitive part of the game that I think is not developed yet as much as and it should be. I did some cognitive coaching, basically.
Confidence. Another, like so many kids lack confidence, and that's the number one thing that and like negative self-talk. Go ahead.
No, when you kind of like ask questions to the players deep down, the things are like, oh, I'm worried about making a mistake. What others are going to think about my mistake?
Yeah.
What the coach is going to think about my mistake? But then when you put the big picture together, and that's what you do through this kind of like mental resilience or mental whatever you want to call it. Right. It's like when you put the big picture together, like the mistake is the first step to get better, right? And Absolutely. Then the importance that you give into the mistake. Maybe the coach doesn't even care. or didn't even realize about your mistake. And you're thinking about what the people watching you are going to think about your mistake. You know what I mean? So you're actually thinking about the future or the past because you're still thinking about, oh, I made a mistake. And instead of being focusing on present, which is, all right, the center midfielder is on the ball. What do I need to do? How am I going to create a passing line?
Yeah.
You're overthinking. You know what I mean? So I think there is a massive, massive, I don't want to call it business, but probably it's a business to work on that, on sessions to improve like the cognitive part of the game. And that's what I'm doing. I've done it with teachers, right?
Yeah.
Like how to become the best teacher possible, because sometimes teachers, they're also overthinking, right? Like, oh, what do I need to plan in the lesson? What do I need to do? This behavior, or this thing, or I didn't explain that. Instead of being focusing on the present, which is the lesson that you're actually teaching right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the same. So I started that with footballers as well. And with one of my good friends is a football coach. I did it as well. Funny enough, yesterday I had a meeting with another friend that he plays. He went to America to play golf, university, college, scholarship. And then we were thinking as well, we were kind of like connecting as well, which this is what I'm doing with you.
Yeah.
How can we collaborate on this? Because I think it makes a massive impact on the game.
Absolutely. So you're obviously doing it remote, kind of like
online, one-to-one,
one-on-one, chat just like this on Skype or what is it?
It's also depending on, because this is depend on the player as well, right? Because imagine like player might come up with, oh, I got this massive tournament in 3 weeks time, or maybe it could be, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm gonna start preseason, so I want to be in a good mental space before preseason. You know what I mean? Or maybe just competition and all right, I was warming up. The coach called me. I'm already thinking, oh, I'm only playing 10 minutes. I'm fuming, so I'm coming in and I'm not performing for 10 minutes, which means next game you're playing 5 instead of blocking all that negativity. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at the oh, it's only 10 minutes left, and that's something you cannot change. What you can change is, can you make the best 10 minutes possible, and how you're gonna mentally prepare for that.
Absolutely. I mean,
so that's what I'm trying to develop or to do on the side.
do you think you've always focused on the mental aspect of the game, or did something change in you when you were working with the teachers or at Arsenal? Or
I think with my experience, and I think it's a life experience, obviously I'm not 25 anymore, so I'm in a much better place as a human being, and I think that's bringing maturity, and that's obviously teaching in my career and doing some consultancy work, and sometimes, for example, with teachers, right? Like if you're not in a good place as a teacher, you cannot teach. And the same with coaches. If you're not in a good place as a coach, you cannot coach that day, because then you're gonna transfer all those emotions and feelings and negativity to the players.
You're right.
To the person next to you, right?
You know, you have always been like that, because I remember one time you told me, like, I was having a bad day, and you were like, don't allow anybody outside of yourself to ever affect your day. Like I still say that. I still say that to others, because it's like, don't allow somebody else to make you have a bad day, right?
Yeah, and it's not easy, right? But now I say to myself a lot of times, okay, if it's not gonna bother me in 5 years' time, it shouldn't bother me more than 5 minutes. And that's, for example, with the footballers, that mistake that you're making such a big thing, you're not thinking about that in next training session. You're not going to be thinking about that mistake unless you're playing I don't know, what is the biggest competition in Buffalo now or Western New York?
I mean, it would probably be these top level club teams when they go to a showcase, but it's not.
Let's say that you miss a penalty that day, okay, and then your team loses the final, whatever it is.
Right.
Okay, in 5 years' time, maybe you remember. I can get that one that you get upset, but any mistake that is undermining you during the game, you're not going to remember that mistake in 5 years' time. Why are you giving it more than 5 minutes? Why are you going to have time thinking about that mistake instead of focusing and making sure that your active listening skills are checking the coach, checking the assistant coach, checking the other players, and trying to figure out what you need to do next to do better in the second half.
Right. I mean, a couple things. What's sad and what's happening right now, I feel, is that we are losing competitiveness. We're losing competitiveness, and here's what I mean. So it's all about the ECN, or it's all about these showcases, because college soccer is the end all be all and it's the primary focus, right?
Yep.
So a team or a player will go down to Florida and they will lose all 3 games and they don't care. They don't care that they lost all 3 games. They only care about what colleges were there present. They were which ones saw me play. Did I play well enough to show in front of these coaches? They don't even care about what their own coach thinks anymore. They care more about who was on the sidelines. And that's a whole mental thing too. It's like, how are you being able to play in front of 100 kids or 100 college coaches? Like, that's crazy. But that's the primary focus.
But the primary focus should be, what do I need to do on the ball, off the ball, transition,
Play soccer.
on and off the ball, and what do I do in set pieces, and how can I perform the best for my team and follow the game plan, who am I playing against, and now how can I be, or how do I put myself in a position that I'm in a good physical, good fitness level, and also in a good mental place and focus to perform. And it doesn't matter who are the 100 outside. You need to focus on that. And then everything will come up. Everything else will come up if it has to come.
Yeah. So so do you have your own website now? And
no, not yet. Everything very raw. Making connections. I have few clients now, which is and it's going a bit quicker than I expected. Okay.
I like it.
So that's good news. I have, I think, pretty solid ideas in terms of, like, for example, I see a lot of potential connecting with you, okay? Mm-hmm. Because maybe you could potentially offer, we can get into a deal, of course, but you can offer like that mental training part to the players that you already coach. Because Absolutely. If you think about it, that could potentially be something, it's another tool for them to be better, right? Like, you're preparing yourself with Jason in one-to-one sessions or small groups, physically and technically and tactically. Mm-hmm. But now you prepare with Jose, who has this experience at Arsenal, Western New York Flash, and I've played football, on how, and I'm also a teacher, right? So I can connect really easily with them on your mental part of the game, okay? Absolutely. That's one area. Another area is players that they go to college. So think about that. Like, you've been going to showcases for how many years? 5 years, worrying about, like, who is there, who am I going to sign with, the scholarship, or even like let's say you get 100% scholarship, but that's something that you might lose in year 2 or year 3, right? And then you go to the season and you are not in a good mental space. So I can help you out. Yeah. I can prepare you. Or you go and all of a sudden you've been in Western New York Flash, okay? And you've been for 10 years, they've been telling you, you're very good. You're very good. You're the best one. You're very good. And now you go to, which one is the best women's college right now? I don't know.
North Carolina. And we have one, Linda Olmark, who's there, who won a national title. But I mean, you're on
So
the
but
right.
now, all of a sudden now, first of all, the coach is not telling you you're the best one anymore. All right.
Yep. Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, you're not even starting. So now,
Right.
when you're in the drills, it's not only that they're not even mentioning your name. And
Exactly.
now, how do you deal with that? Okay, can you overcome that challenge in year one? If you can overcome, but then maybe you need some strategies or some support or someone to open your eyes and say, listen, someone has been telling you for 10 years that you're very good, but you were a big fish in a small,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. You're a big fish in a small pond, and now you are a small fish in a
yeah.
huge pond. And
And you still have an amazing opportunity to overcome that challenge. Don't get me wrong. And
yeah,
that's where you're going to overcome that challenge with this. It's not going to be a question of technical ability. You're not going to improve much your fitness level. It could be a little bit of improvement. Don't get me wrong. But your understanding of the game and your touch, everything, decision, but here, that's the difference.
it's exactly why I started this podcast. Is that I wanted it started out as these players. I wanted these players because they talk to me out there, and it's almost like a therapy session because they're telling me everything that's going on at their colleges, and I'm like, okay, well, we're going to start a podcast so that you can share your story, right? And a couple of the girls, they've gotten cut, right, and so they've had to transfer. And like you said, it's a big fish in a small pond, and now you're a small fish in a big pond. Then a lot of our college players, a lot of these college coaches, they train as if they're a pro team. Like think about your time at Arsenal. Did you guys ever have starters over here and then non-starters over there? When college players do, or when college coaches do that, that really
Yeah.
affects these players because the players feel like, well, they're the focus and we're not the focus, and that plays that wreaks havoc on
And,
players
and
too.
not only that, but then that group of players, then after training, you're sitting down next to the player that it hasn't been in that group. You know what I mean? So then
Uh-huh.
it's more negativity. And that's what I mean, like how you're gonna overcome that challenge, how you're gonna get away from that. And I say, okay, you put me on the group of players that is not playing, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm gonna still perform and I'm gonna carry on performing. And I'm gonna carry on until the last day. But to do that, you need to prepare yourself mentally. It's not easy. It doesn't come because it's very easy to give up. All right. So yeah. So that's kind of like the area that I see myself, that I can like actually have a really good impact. And I'm doing this starting in September. Like there is like a coaching course on how to do coaching. I already know because I've done a lot of mentoring in my life and I've
Okay.
done mentoring courses, but I'm going to get that qualification as well.
Is everything through your email right now? Pretty much, like how
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
contact you and then you set up the Zoom call or whatever.
Yeah. It's the Zoom call, and then we do kind of like an assessment. What I
Yep.
do is an assessment,
Yep.
and then after that assessment, it's kind of like what are your goals and what is, you know what I mean, because different players different goals, right? Like as I was telling you, maybe it's pre-season, so we focus on that. So then maybe we're doing one session a week for 4 weeks, and
Yep.
that's it, and that's what you need it. Okay. Or maybe, for example, with the football coach that I'm working in Spain, I do one session every Monday after the game. Okay. So they
Okay.
play on Sundays. So we do one session every Monday. But then a teacher that I work with, we do four across the whole year. Okay. So it's kind of like one every 2 months. All right.
Yeah.
So it's different.
How many athletes are you working with right now?
Now I have two teachers one coach right now. But the thing is that sometimes I work for a few weeks and that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Or they might come again.
And re-up and stuff like that. What is the coaching course that you're doing? What's the coaching course that you're doing this September?
It's cognitive coaching.
Cognitive coaching. Okay. Is it soccer specific or is it
Sports specific.
sport specific? Is it who's
Sports.
it through? Is it in England or
It's university in Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Good
awesome.
university with good reputation. So I'm doing that online.
Uh-huh.
And then there are sessions that I need to be there, but they are, you can kind of like, it's one-to-one tutoring with your tutor or your mentor. So
Right.
then I'll be able to do it in December and June when I go. But
Wow.
no, very excited with this. And to be honest, like, just great things like that I've been realizing in the past few years coaching, like talking less. You know what I mean? Like talking less when I'm coaching.
While you're
and being,
coaching, you're just observing more.
yeah, and like making more, focusing more as a coach as well, like being more meaningful when I'm observing the game. You know what I mean? And then being more meaningful when I'm providing feedback. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
like how do I break down my feedback as a coach? Have you ever thought about that? How many coaches you just play first half, second half, and then in halftime they just say whatever? No, you need to break it down. You need to find like what is your goal? What are you gonna try to achieve?
Yeah.
What
Goal,
do you, yeah,
Yeah.
and then
specific.
what yeah, be specific. Also, what is the right? So you're providing positive feedback, negative feedback. Are you giving actually an action plan to change things? If
Mhm.
it's working, you know what I mean? Like being more intentional.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and that's part also of mental toughness and mental resilience. You know what I mean? It's also being able to focus and to kind of like clear the noise as a coach, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're already thinking like, oh, if I do this sub, but then this player, and then you're thinking about the families as well, right? Like if someone is going to complain or not about the sub that you're going to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the reality.
real.
But
That's
you shouldn't be,
real.
right? That is noise, right? So how do you clear that noise? So I can work some strategy with you to clear the noise. I'm not saying I'm gonna be successful, but kind of like realizing and internalizing the processes for you to not think about that,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. I love that you're doing this, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I
So-
mean, I believe in that. Like you said, collaboration. I also believe in like mentorship and what else is the word? Consulting. You're like a consultant. You really are, right?
Yeah. That's, I went to Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast,
Yeah.
to do consultancy in the American school there. Funny enough, I just went there for consultancy for the physical and health education team, and the same, just yeah. But it's collaboration, but it's obviously it's consultancy, right? Because you need to get paid for the knowledge and information, and
Right.
but
So-
that's also another thing that maybe I could work as well with coaches, right?
I think
Like
so.
that
I think so too, dude. I think so too, because a lot of coaches. I mean, you could teach a lot of coaches a lot. I mean, about the game, right? I mean,
yeah. But not also, I mean, like about the game as well, but also on how to observe the game, how to analyze it, how to control your emotion, how to be effective on your decision making.
yeah. How to be
You know,
intentional. How to
yep,
and
meaningful.
and how to treat these players like they're actually people too. You know, that they're not just, chess pieces. That they're
Yeah,
like how do you interact with with the players? How do you develop a relationship with the players so that they'd run through a brick wall for you?
Yeah, and also understanding the players. You know what I mean in terms of being empathetic. So understanding that 14 years old boy and girl
Yeah.
that makes a mistake is gonna make such a big thing, and they're making such a big thing because they're in that phase in the life where emotions, everything is ups and downs, and that's your role as a coach as well, right? Like to make them realize, like, right, just relax. You're going through a lot of emotional challenges in your life right now, and that's
Right.
part of your process. That's part of your. I've been there when I was 14 and 15,
Yeah.
and you're making such a big thing of something that is nothing in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're asking, I mean, and you're asking 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to make life-changing decisions, about which college to pick. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And
It is.
the amount of stress that some of our players are under that aren't committed to a college, it's sad. It's really sad. And I feel that a lot of them feel pressure because they feel pressure because they know what it costs their parents, all this all this training, all this club dues over the years. It costs a lot of money. And I feel like
And
some of our players feel guilty, like, well, I better play college soccer or my dad's going to be mad at me.
yeah, and then it's just crazy. I'm thinking like, and then you spend all that money through all those years, and again, and then all of a sudden you're not playing for 3 games in a row, and then this one goes bang down, and then you do nothing to change it. You just go next day training, hope for, wishing that it's going to change the situation. No, you need to change yourself first. You know what I mean? It's kind of like your inner game. I call it like I read this amazing book, like the inner game of tennis. You have it?
I think I might be at home. I have that game. I have that.
It's very, very powerful, Jason. Very powerful.
Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. It must be at home. But
So
yes.
yeah, but there's basically you have the player, the footballer, and
Yeah.
also the player inside you that is telling you, oh, you're gonna panic and you're gonna, you know what I mean? That is kind of like not letting you perform, right? And then you need to find that connection between the footballer outside that is able to pass and dribble and shoot and defend and tackle and win the ball in the air and win the second ball, with that player inside that is putting so much pressure
Yeah.
that it doesn't make any sense. So it's kind of like finding that balance and connection between these two players that they live in you.
Absolutely.
So this one yesterday that I was talking to my friend, the golf. So I was telling him like, uh, kind of like I did a pack of 6 different sessions. Okay, 6. So
Yep.
session 1 was kind of like consultation, checking your mental game, and kind of like getting rid of mental blocks. All right. Then session number 2 will be focusing on blocking the internal negativity dialogue. You know what I mean? Like when you negative self talk, how do you block that in competition? So we can do one session focusing on that. Session number 3 is focus and concentration under pressure. So when you are in situation that you really feel under pressure, then session number 4, good decision making on the field. Session number 5, how do you manage mistakes and errors and how you overcome quickly in competition. And session number 6, kind of like training or connecting your inner player with your outer player. So
Yeah.
kind of like making that, like kind of finding those strategies for you to be how you say, kind of like floating on the game or feeling like really comfortable. So this is just, for example, yesterday that I did. Okay,
I
but
love it.
there are too many different things and too many different things to work. And as well, it depends, right? Like some players, they might be struggling with completely different things, right?
Yeah,
Some people, they might be struggling with pressure from family.
exactly. Yeah.
Or
How long would each session be?
usually
An hour?
45 to 1 hour.
45.
45 to 1 hour.
Yeah, that's normal.
But it usually goes to 1 hour.
I love it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to clip up some of this, and what I'll just say is this episode with Jose is over 2 days, two separate calls, and
Cool.
and it'll be like this part, or I'll clip up, and then the next one will be more longer, and we're talking shop the whole time. We're talking soccer the whole time.
No, but maybe we can talk a little bit about like the mental game when I was at Arsenal and the mental game when I was coaching with academies. You know what I mean?
I would
So
like
trying
to
to be more meaningful. That's why I was telling you, like,
I would like to know more about your time at Arsenal, and I wanted to know more about the pro game in Europe and the pro game versus what you saw here when you were in Buffalo. If you're still in contact, are you still in contact with anybody from Arsenal still?
players. From time to time, a couple of messages, but I lost a lot of contact. But I guess if I contact them again, I think. Do you remember Heather O'Reilly, American player, right?
Yep.
Is she working in North Carolina or not?
I don't know. She's always around North Carolina. She's always around UNC.
She's part of the women's. Is she not?
I don't. She might.
Yeah, because she used to play there, right?
Yep.
It's funny enough. She sent me a message like a couple months ago, like, "How's life?" And I said, "Yeah, all is good. How are you?"
Yeah.
So I didn't really.
Wasn't she going to come back and coach with Arsenal at some point, or am
something like that. I don't know.
Do you talk to Pedro at all anymore?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. But I know he's in Mexico.
Yeah, is it Tigres? Yeah, Tigres or whatever.
Making big money.
And living the life, I guess. I mean, it's like 90 degrees. And what's the weather like there?
Ethiopia is just a paradise. It's 25 degrees every single day, the whole year.
Yeah.
And then it's a couple of months rainy season, but
is it desert? Is it desert? Is it forest?
No, it's quite green in rainy season and then quite dry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the food?
It's okay. Food is okay. Food is okay. Cape Town food is good. Yeah.
Cape Town
of South Africa is just
amazing.
Cape Town is like New York. Like you wouldn't believe it. I promise you. Like it blew my mind. It blew my mind. South Africa.
You gonna come out for the World Cup next year?
That'll be awesome. Can you imagine? If this business goes well, I'll be able to. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's Canada, Mexico, and US, right?
That's in Canada. It's in Toronto. Canada. Yeah. So Toronto is close to here, obviously. It's all over. The final is in New York City.
Are you still traveling back to Ohio or not anymore? Or from
Michigan,
time to time?
Yeah.
Michigan, sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. Yep.
How often?
Not as often as I used to. I went back for the Super Bowl and then Christmas. Yeah.
But Buffalo Bills were in the final, right? Or very close?
Nope, the Chiefs were my team.
Oh, okay. Did they win or?
No, we got smashed by Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
How's that?
Buffalo Bills has been doing a bit better the last few years.
Very good. They're very good. Yeah. Okay. And your team's Atletico, right?
Do you know what? I don't watch football anymore.
I don't have time. It's always on during while I'm training or doing something. So like I don't watch it. I don't have time.
So how many more sessions today you have?
None. So
No, okay,
I'm
great.
done. I'm done for the day. I did a homeschool. Well, I had a college session and then I had 2 homeschool sessions. So kids that are homeschooled, they come in and I train them. And then
Fantastic.
I'm actually splitting this space right now. So I have it for half of the time. And then there's another trainer that kind of does what I do. And he goes the other half. And I love it. It's been amazing. It's lessened my bills, my lease
Yeah.
and everything. And it's freed up some time so that I'm not responsible of filling 100 hours of either training or renting the space out. So now
Okay.
I'm only in charge of like 25 hours. You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'm pretty happy right now.
you are the owner of the place or not?
No, it's just a lease, and
Okay.
we split the lease. We have some great owners. The owners, they're soccer guys and soccer families, so
Okay.
pretty good. This is our 5th year. Yeah, this is our 4th year. Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. This is the 4th year in here. I started in February 21 in this location. So February to 25, yeah. This is my 4th year.
All right.
So
That's
pretty good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Amazing.
Friday,
Friday same time.
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or we could go 1:30 again. And then so basically how I've been doing this podcast thing is every Monday, whenever that episode comes out, I post the video, obviously, but then I post or I link how to get in contact with that guest to my email, and then boom, and then hopefully that will get some, because my email list isn't huge, but it's it's over 2,000 right now.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And I have 50% open. So I have a 50% open rate, meaning like 1,000 people open my emails.
Do you need me to put a little bit like a letter of presentation or something for that or no?
I don't think so. I think just you talking about it is going to be enough.
That'll be enough. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and then maybe.
How long do you think you are from getting a website? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, Macarena told me yesterday about it. So it will probably take a few weeks.
Yeah. I would focus mostly on your email list. So then you have the capability of writing out a newsletter, kind of like so every Monday I send out our schedule and whatnot, but instead of, maybe you're not into video like I am, and then you just want to write a blog or write an article about a topic, and then you have all these emails, and because the email list is everything.
Okay. I'll be asking you more questions about that because I asked ChatGPT the other day and it came up with really good ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually saying that, like, all right, so on Monday you are. So if you have a Twitter account, and then if you have like a
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Substack. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Substack, yeah, I don't have one, but yeah.
Anyway, so it was basically saying everything connected, the 3 of them, and then on Monday it might be just a sentence about mental resilience. On Tuesday it could potentially be. So basically on the weekend I will prepare all the content and get it scheduled, and then it goes. You know what I mean? And then on Wednesdays like in a small paragraph connecting with mental resilience and soccer, right? Yeah. And then kind of like building it up. And then I guess that's how you kind of like get followers and get people, and then you start sending the list. But I think, let's try it out with the podcast, and let's see if some clients comes up, and that'll be nice. And then maybe, let's go one step at a time. I think I'm also learning in this process, but I'm quite excited.
Absolutely. So Friday at 1, we'll call it 1:30, and then your episode. Let me think. So yours will drop on the 31st of March. That's when that's when our podcast together is going to drop. And then we go from there.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, Jason, thank you so
love
much. Really,
All right.
really good to see you. And then we'll make more. You know what I mean? You can call
Catch
me
up.
anytime.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome, man.
All right.
Buddy.
Really good to see
I
you.
will see you Friday. You shaved.
10 years younger.
Yeah, you do. You do look 10 years younger.
Mate, it was amazing the other day talking to you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Miss you.
How was your weekend?
Pretty good. I've been battling a like a congestion sickness thing, so I just watched basketball the entire weekend, pretty much.
It's
The tournament, March Madness. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
Who's winning or was it Duke? Was good, right, or not?
Duke's very good. Duke's probably
Yeah.
going to win the whole thing. I think Duke's probably going to win the whole thing. Hopefully, Michigan State can compete, but I don't know. So, how's your weekend? You're still playing?
Nah, a bit, just a bit.
Yeah.
I play a lot in London. Here, from time to time, sometimes on Wednesday nights, I play a little bit.
Is it like an organized league or is it more like pickup?
It's more like a pickup. It's between like teachers and stuff. To be honest, it's more mainly it's, Ethiopians that they work in the school or families or It's good. It's good standard. I mean, like it's fine, but it's just I feel like when what it says here is not working on my legs. You know what I mean? Like what I'm thinking is just
What you used to be able to do?
yeah. I used to like so now I play and it's fine, but I cannot run anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's just everything is like in zone 2, but that's just pathetic. You know, like.
Are you playing 11v11?
7-a-side.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Small-sided. Yeah.
But it's still right, like it's not the same. It's not the same that it used to be. So I can kind of like get frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's better not to play.
Yeah, I get it. What's your school day like? Is it like just a normal 8 hours or whatever, or what's your school?
7:30 to 4:30. I usually stay always a bit longer. I do now football coaching 4:30 to 6.
Okay.
But then we ended up finishing 6:15 or 6:20.
Yeah.
I love football, so I always stay a little bit more with the boys. But usually you can do 7:30 to 4:30, and then that's it. Or if you want to do some extracurricular activities, then you can stay a bit longer. But that's entirely up to you. So it's not mandatory. But I do a lot of extracurricular. I like it. I love it.
What are the ages of the team that you're coaching? High school?
Varsity, yeah. I'm coaching the varsity team. Yeah.
Okay. And now, are you playing against? Because this is an American school, right?
Yeah, we're playing against another international schools, which are American. Well, most of them.
So they have a bunch of international schools.
Yeah.
Like here's the Spanish school, here's the Japanese school, and whatnot.
No, so this is the competition we played is called International School Southeast Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that means the biggest international schools in Southeast Africa, which most of them they are connected to the American embassy of the American schools. So those schools are those countries are Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, and Tanzania. So it's 8 teams.
Okay.
So every year you play in a different location. So for example, this year in 3 weeks' time, we're going to Zambia, and we play the competition.
Wow.
It's cool. It's good standard. To be honest, like some of the players, they could potentially play in the US in a scholarship. Not all of them, but some play. There are some good players.
There's probably going to be some people that watch this and they're going to reach out to you and hoping
Yeah,
to get in
I'll,
contact with you to see some of your players potentially.
I'll be super happy to. I'll be super happy to help. Yeah, definitely. And so it's the same competition. They do it in basketball, in volleyball, and track and field.
Do you think any of them could make it in as a pro in Europe? Anybody
No.
at that level?
No.
No.
No, what I've seen in the 3 years that I've been in the competition.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you've lived in you've lived on three continents now, right? So
Sounds about, yeah. I need to move
Europe,
next. Yeah.
where are you going
Yeah.
next? Asia?
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Like,
South
I've been, I think Asia probably. Yeah.
Japan?
Japan is good, but maybe Southeast Asia, like
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know, Malaysia.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. To be honest, like yeah, who knows? I mean, like if someone had told me that I would have like ended in Ethiopia, you know what I mean? Like life, who knows?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know you were in Ethiopia. I thought for some reason you were still in London.
Yeah. London was great, but it's just yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that, or we know that as a couple, if we have kids, we'll do maybe a few more years like in this international life, because then I can give them like an American education for free, right? Like for 10 years. So then my kids, they will speak Spanish and an American, like it doesn't matter. I mean, I have an accent and it's no problem, but it's
Right.
also nice, you know what I mean? Like give them that education. So we'll probably do like another 6, 8, or 10 years, and then back to Spain. Hopefully, should be fine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is Maka teaching at the school?
No, she's doing. So she was working. She was working at the Hilton in London. She did 7 years and a half at the Hilton,
Yep.
and then she moved into. So basically, her company is a startup that they organize artificial intelligence summits.
Oh, okay.
She's actually going to Los Angeles in June
Wow.
for a week. Yeah.
You can go with
So,
her?
say that again?
Are you gonna go with her?
No, I think I'm gonna stay in Spain for a week. I'm gonna do a cycling trip the north of Spain for a week.
So cycle a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love
Daily,
it.
weekly?
I try to go to school cycling sometimes or walking.
Yep.
And, yeah, I'm still moving. A bit less cycling here in Ethiopia. I do a little bit of indoor cycling, but yeah, but still loving it. Yeah. Really.
Everything but running.
Yeah. No, running is fine as well. I ran a 5K with Macarena today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What about you? What you got? What you doing?
I'm lucky enough to live 2 miles from the location. So like last week when the weather cooperated, I walked here. Sometimes I bike. Mostly I do walking. But right now it's back to like 38 degrees here, so it's kind of cold. So Fahrenheit.
Is it snowing or not anymore? Right?
No, we're supposed to get snow this week.
Oh, really?
You missed the snow?
It was okay. No, really.
In the U.S.
Ethiopia.
Snowstorm ever in Buffalo.
To be honest, I think Buffalo is like a secret gem, right? Like it's a really nice city to live. To be honest,
it is. But yeah, it definitely is.
I don't know.
It's just the weather, winter, the snow. It's like, okay, can this just end?
Yeah, just well, but then if you come to Ethiopia is just the best weather I've been in my life. It's always 25 degrees. So in the morning, 7 a.m., we walk to school. You put a jumper,
Yeah.
then around 9 a.m. off,
Yeah.
and then you're in your t-shirt, shorts, and then probably around 6 p.m. you put the jumper on again. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The whole year around. And then there is rainy season and dry season. Just fine.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit last week, but you're not really in contact with any of the Arsenal women anymore?
Not much. I
Yeah.
could reach out. I could reach out.
Yeah.
Would you be interested?
No, I just want to know like what that was like because I don't even know if we've ever really talked about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like coaching at that level, those players, that's got to be it's
it was great.
unbelievable. And I, I mean, that's
It
got
was,
that's the highest level you've coached at, right?
yeah, the highest level. It was
Yeah.
great. It was a bit, I guess, the game has massively developed in the past 10 years in terms of professionalism. You know what I mean? I think when I was there, I think it was 2015 and 16 to 17. So it was just in that transition. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now, I think we were discussing the other day. Was it Girmay, this player, right? Like she moved from the
Yeah.
US to
Yep.
USD, and I think how much money did they pay? Like
Million.
$800,000 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I think,
Kerr? Do you remember Sam Kerr from
yeah, of course,
at
yeah.
the Flash and then all over the NWSL? But she's making millions. You know,
Yeah.
it's
But
crazy.
that has happened in the past 8 years, right? Because
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what was when we were at the Flash.
They were
I
making
don't
maybe 50. They were making like maybe 50, 60,000. You know, what they're making now is insane. I remember
know,
when we were at the Flash, the league minimum was $6,000 per season, and that's
precision.
yeah,
It's
6,000.
like $600 a month.
Yeah, so, well, the season's like March to September or so. So yeah, like
Not
Sabrina D'Angelo and some of those rookies, they weren't making anything like they're making now, you know. And
Yeah,
Sabrina's in Europe. I think she played for Arsenal, the
yeah, the
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper, D'Angelo, right?
Yeah, is she
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Arsenal?
yeah.
She might be
I
at.
think
She's somewhere
she's
in
not
Europe.
there anymore, but yeah.
Do you remember?
But I think now it's just a different game. But not all the teams, I guess, right? Like not all the teams are making that. You know what I mean? I feel still, for example, in Spain, I don't follow the league, but I'm still a little bit in touch. And I think if you play for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, yeah,
Yeah,
you can make a living. But then other teams, I'm not sure.
I mean, right now on the women's side, Spain is just the queens. They're
Yeah,
unbelievable.
no, I think the Real Madrid beat Barcelona women yesterday for the first time in history,
Yep.
1-3.
Do you remember Dominica that coached with
Yeah,
us?
from Slovenia. Yeah,
Yeah, she ended up playing like for AC Milan.
yeah. She played
Insane.
as well. She played in Spain, I think, as well. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
lovely. She was good.
yeah. Wow,
But
unbelievable.
yeah, I think when I was at Arsenal, I mean, it was professional. Don't get me wrong. Like it was, all the players were like full time employees and professional, but I think not at the level that is right now. You know what I mean? Like right now they play at the Emirates sometimes. You know what I mean? Like that would have happened when I was there. So I think it's massive progress in the past 8 years.
Absolutely. And think about like at that level, the mental toughness of being able to play at that level and abroad. I mean, think about you. You're constantly challenging yourself to be in different countries. How hard is that? How hard is that, like, mentally? Like when you were,
Yeah, I think that it's like everything in life. You get used to, then it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like if I think about it, I don't see it as challenging.
right?
You know what I mean? Like
You just
to
like,
me,
this is your life.
it's normal, but it's like everything else, right? Like if you think about someone who runs, I don't know, marathons.
Yeah.
Let's say someone who runs marathon, right? Someone that runs 10 marathons a year. Then you think like, all right, that's tough, right? Like, and then that person will tell you, okay, all you do is training, and it's like everything in life, right? Like the more you do it, it's like I don't know. I guess professional footballers as well, right? Like when you see them play, like how can you score that goal? How can you get that touch? How can you win over and over and over? It becomes normal. So to me, to live in a different country is just you just get used to. I did struggle, I think, the first time when I went to Buffalo at the very beginning. You know what I mean? Because it was learning English, it was new country, it was a lot going on. But then you get used to it. And then London was fine. And the transition to Ethiopia was actually the easiest transition in my life because the school is so good that they will provide you everything. They will pick you up at the airport. Uh, they provide you accommodation. I got home and I have food on my fridge from the school.
I love
How
it.
mind how mind blowing is that? That you get
Yeah.
home, you open the fridge, and you have food.
Yeah. That was not the case. That was not the case in Buffalo. You had to walk a, you had to walk a bar bill. Remember when you stayed in the house?
Oh,
Didn't you walk there in the snow, in like a foot of snow?
Jesus Christ! I was there for 4 days in that crazy storm by myself.
Oh,
And
I,
then remember, we went to Boston as well to play a tournament, mate.
yeah, yeah. And
Unbelievable.
we went together. Yeah, that was fun. And we went to
That was,
downtown Boston. Went to Cheers.
yeah, it blew my mind at the time that we went to Boston to play a weekend tournament. How far is Boston from Buffalo?
8 hours.
8 hours. And I think the thing that I
Cheers.
was coaching, we lost absolute every single game, and then it's 8 hours back thinking how bad as a coach I am.
Yeah. Okay. If you, all right, if you drove 8 hours from Ethiopia, what what African nation could you be in?
I think it's a tricky one, right? Because then, for example, here, when you drive out of Addis, the roads, you know what I mean? So to make
You can't even
100
drive. You can't even drive 8 hours.
you can drive definitely no problem, but it's not like you know what I mean. Not like American driveways and all those. You know what? There are
Yeah.
certain areas that you can go, but what I'm saying is like maybe to I don't know to get to a place where you need to drive 500 kilometers, it probably take you 7 8 hours
Right.
easily.
Oh, yeah. So you could be,
Yeah,
you could still be in like the same country,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Ethiopia is
Europe,
massive,
right?
massive. But for example, to me, what we did that weekend, which was how many hours? So Boston to Buffalo, how many miles is that?
I would have to be like 350, 400. I
Well,
don't know.
anyways, let's say it was 7 hours drive, right, or something like that. Or
Yeah.
okay, so to me, that in Spain is going from somewhere like Toledo to Galicia. So it's basically crossing half of the country. If you tell a family that you're gonna do that for a weekend to play, they tell you no. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not going.
Okay, it's 442 miles. It's 6.5 hours. I was wrong. I was way off.
No, 7 hours.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The traffic and everything. Yeah, exactly.
And what was the name of the burger place that we stopped?
All
Is there?
burgers.
Yeah, it's an actor, right? Yeah, yeah, the actor. Yeah,
Wahlberg. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we went to where the Patriots play. We went to Foxborough.
It was actually March Madness. It was that
That's
month,
where I said
right?
is we watched Michigan State. We watched
Correct.
Michigan State at Wahlburgers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable, man.
God, good old days, man.
And then I remember as well another one that I did, and that one it was by myself. So I drove from Buffalo to play one game. I passed Rochester and whatever. It was like 3 hours and a half to play one game.
It was probably Utica, or it was probably even Albany, maybe.
All right.
Or
So
Syracuse. Or was that you had to go like to almost New York City to play?
No idea. It was only to play one game. We lost 4-1. We didn't touch the ball for the whole game. 4-1. And then driving back by myself.
In solitude, just thinking.
Yeah.
Just thinking about
Thinking, okay, how can I change this whole situation? And I couldn't.
When you came to Buffalo, did you think, man, I'm going to the United States, there's going to be some great players? I mean, the talent is going to be amazing. And then you got here and it's like, oh, not as good as I thought it was going to be.
But I'll tell you this, very, how do I say? I found the players that I coach at Buffalo very respectful towards me.
Yep.
Very respectful.
Absolutely great kids. Yep.
Fantastic attitude to work. And by that I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been like the worst drill ever, repetition, and they would do it. And for me, comparing it a little bit with my background in Spain, a little bit like lack of creativity in terms of decision making. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I found it a little bit like, how do I say, like robotic? You know what I mean? Like, very
not creative.
Like missing a little bit playing in the streets. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But also I saw all the positive things, like fantastic attitude to working, super respectful, committed. That like they will go to every single training session. They will do some individualized training. You know what I mean? That ability to work, I loved it. But then being a little bit more competitive, you know what I mean? Like streetwise. But
when you were at Arsenal, did you do anything in the youth system there?
I did a little bit in the women's, and I did a little bit with the under 16 boys. But I didn't do any coaching with the under 16 boys. But I was able to go to the training sessions because we used to play football coaches on Friday evening. So then
all the Arsenal coaches?
Yeah, all the Arsenal coaches. So then I think if it's football, but I was able to play good. And then the under 16 coach, he said, "Oh, you should come to watch our training session." So I will go there and watch training session with them and be part. Not coaching, but just be part with them. So that, because they will train in the morning like us. So imagine if we were training from 9:30 to 11, they will probably train from 10:30 to 12. So I'll finish at 11 and I'll go straight to hang around with them for half an hour, 45 minutes.
How much? I mean, when I was coming up as a coach, that's what I used to do. If I had a mentor that I really looked up to, I would just go and watch his sessions. And I get young coaches DMing me and like, man, I need some advice for young coaches. And I'm like, go find a mentor. And if they don't want to mentor you, at least just go watch them. Watch them train. Watch them coach a game. Go sit on their sideline and listen to how they coach and interact with their players. I mean, how beneficial was it to watch that U16 session?
Massive. And then copy and paste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. How was the girls back then? How was the girls' youth system back then?
At the time was developing. I guess now it'll be much better. They were actually like not training in the Arsenal training ground, so they were training still at like an artificial pitch. Still, like they will have like a lot of players that they will play for England, and it was okay, but obviously development. Yeah.
How's the level? Well, you already said that they could play in college in the U.S. How are they all American kids that you're coaching right now?
No. So basically, it's a lot of
Ethiopians.
Ethiopians. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Ethiopians, and also I have some foreigners, as we say here, but yeah, some kids that maybe their families they are here in working in big companies, and
Okay.
but mostly Ethiopians. Yeah.
So when you say
The problem with this is that is you know what I mean? Like it's easy to say like yeah they can play in the US, right? Like they can play college there. It's easy to say, but then college system is also it's not like it's a different type of football, but you know what I mean? You need the physicality and the ability to repeat high intensity efforts. So for example, myself, I consider I don't know if I went to play college in America, I think I would have been fine. But you need to adapt, so it takes time. You know what I mean? It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because it's I've seen it, right? I've seen like college football that is a lot of transitions, a lot of it's
Constant. It's almost like a different sport sometimes. Just how intense it can be and how fast they try to play and the challenges. You're talking about physicality. I mean, crazy.
And the reality of football, Jason, is that nowadays, if you don't have that physicality, it's one out of a million that you can play football without the physicality. But you need the physicality nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't get in touch with the ball. You're just completely lost on the pitch.
And then everybody talks about, well, Messi's only 5'6". I'm like, have you ever seen him use his body? He's unbelievable at using his body to his advantage and his size to his advantage, which a lot of small players don't. A lot of small players don't know how to use their body to their advantage.
Yeah, not only that, like I've seen like Messi being tackled, they don't even move him. You know what I mean? Like a professional player, professional player is trying to tackle him, and he just like keeps going. So that's the thing, right? Like people might think like, oh no, he's not a physical talent, but he's actually not only a like technical or a mental talent, but also like a physical. He's a beast.
Yeah, he is 100%. So when you say it's an American school, are you saying American as a second language?
So this is an international school. I think.
Got it.
If I'm not mistaken, when it was created 75 years ago, there was a connection with the American Embassy. So I'm not sure if it was the American Embassy. Well, I'm pretty sure the American Embassy created for the employees.
Yeah.
All right. And then that's why there is a connection with the American Embassy. And we have students from the American Embassy. Well, from all the embassies, to be honest. But yeah. But it's just there is a connection with the American school, with the American Embassy. So
right. So let's talk about when we're talking about you when you're in a different environment or whatever, and you're basically saying that's your life and you have to deal with it and you have to move on. How are you going to translate that into your coaching with your mental coaching with the players? Because that's basically what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's just what do you mean, like, by how am I going to transfer that into the players? Or
yeah, because I think sometimes the mental aspect of what a player is going through is when they feel kind of helpless. or they feel, they lose their confidence, and they feel stuck. And you got to kind of change your mentality of like, you're in this. This is what you have to deal with. This is the situation that you signed up for, and you have to just keep on plugging away and keep on moving and keep on going.
But I think as well in that one, keep on going, but just trying to be more intentional or more meaningful. And I'll give you an example. If you just say keep on going, it's kind of like a bit empty, right? Like I'll give you an example. We were doing today like how you say that in English? I call it like pattern of play. So basically, how we play out from the back, right? And so we have these patterns, blah blah. So then it was okay, but not enough pace on the ball, and then a little bit sloppy, like missing some passes, blah blah blah. So then I was, all right, guys, you need to focus, right?
Right.
You need to focus. And then we start again, blah blah blah. All right, guys, you need to focus again. But that's very empty, right? To say you need to focus. But how do you focus? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I said to this player that it was, you could tell, right? Because then I'm applying pressure, right? So I'm telling you, Jason, come on, quicker. Jason, quicker. Jason, you're missing. You're not receiving well. Jason, hurry up. Boom, boom. We need more pace. So Jason is speaking now, right? Then, Jason, can you please focus? But then he doesn't understand. What do I mean by focus?
Right. It's too broad.
Yeah. So I said to Jason, okay, Jason, all right. Just tell me very, very quickly. Just relax. Don't you worry. What do I mean by focus? And he said, oh, yeah, I just need to be focused. And I said, no. What I mean by focus is that you need to receive with your right foot. You need to play with your left foot. You need to get into the right angle. Okay. Tell me 2 things that you notice around you. And then he said, oh, I notice whatever and whatever. I said, okay, you need to start noticing the ball before it comes to you.
Yeah.
Right? And you need to start feeling how you're receiving with your right and you're playing with your left. And then it happened. You know what I mean? Because now he's actually focusing on feeling the ball, feeling he's receiving with his right, he's passing with his left in that case. You need to start feeling, you need to start noticing where you're going to play. All right? So in this situation, you're playing to the striker. Okay? So how you're going to position yourself. But then what I'm trying to say is if I only tell you need to focus,
it's too broad. It's like
it's okay. It's okay. They understand the idea of like I need to do better, but I'm not sure if all the players they have the tools. What do you need to focus on? You need to focus on where you're playing, where you're gonna play, what is happening before you're receiving the ball. You need to start having those feelings, how you're positioning yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. It's like when coaches have evaluations with players and they don't have any real feedback, and then they just say, keep doing what you're doing. It was like what I said would keep on going.
Yeah, but how do you provide feedback? I think I was telling you the other day, right? Like halftime, I do something called 3-2-1, 3-2-1, which is I say 3 things that we did well, what went well, 3 things, 2 things that they were okay, but they need a little bit of a change, just a small change to make it perfect. Okay, and then 1 thing that it needs to change. Action. What is the action? What we're gonna do when we come in the football pitch, and what we're gonna change? Okay, it could potentially be. It could be anything, but it could be like how we pressing, the energy, keeping the ball. We're not keeping it, regaining the ball, and then keeping 3 passes. Right, that's what we're missing. But you know what I mean. But your feedback needs to be meaningful and intentional, right? Like if you say. It needs to be, it's not just providing feedback, it needs to be like organized and well thought.
Where did you pick that up, that 3-2-1? or did you just come up with it on your own?
No, I think can't remember to be honest, but somewhere,
Yeah,
somewhere in my life,
somewhere over the years.
so somewhere in my life
Yeah.
is. I'm running also here, which is I think I don't know if I told you I organize in the school like I call it like because the school is the Eagles, so I call it the Eagles coaching coaches exchange. So we sit down once a month, all the coaches, and then we kind of like share strategies, things, and also I mean like as you were saying before, right? Like just watch a lot of football, talk to
Yeah.
people, go and watch training sessions.
Is that multiple sports or is it just the soccer coaches? All just
No,
the,
no, all the sports, all the sports.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I love it. And then you learn things from different
Okay.
people, from
Yeah.
completely different backgrounds as well, which I think that's one of the things that I really
Enjoy.
appreciate being in different countries. When I went to the US, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm coming to the US because I know everything. I know I learned a lot of things. It blew my mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you can learn from any place, anyone. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel, or maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I went there like feeling like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn as well, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, you have to take that out of every situation, right? You got to look at the positive and the negative, and sometimes you learn what not to do, or sometimes you learn, I would do that a little bit differently, or sometimes you just steal things, and there's, like copy and paste, like you were talking about with the U16 boys, right?
Yeah, 100%.
How was Arsene Wenger back then? Because Arsene was still there, right?
Yeah. It was his last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, very polite, very
Yeah,
polite. Like he'll say hello because we were in the same London colony. We were in the same training ground.
right.
Yep,
I
polite.
I remember Pedro said a story where like Arsene would stay around for the women's practices, and he would like shag balls and stuff like that. Is that
Yeah.
true?
No, no, when I was there, no, when I was there, but I saw him around and he was very polite.
Yeah.
Uh, a good one that I remember was we had like before Christmas time, we have like Christmas because we in my second year there we had lunch in the same place than the first team, the men's.
Yep.
So sometimes we'll kind of like a stagger, you know what I mean? Like they will be like finishing lunch and we'll be starting anyway. So we did Christmas lunch time. And you remember Peter Cech, the
Oh
goalkeeper?
yeah, the goalkeeper with the helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll be playing drums in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And apparently that guy was fluent in 7 different languages. Unbelievable. Yeah,
Really.
yeah, yeah.
How many
Yeah.
languages are you at right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I got the Spanish, English, and French is okay.
French is okay.
French is it's okay. It used to be better. Now I can understand everything. I always say like if I went to Cote d'Ivoire to do this consultancy work, and
Yeah.
then I could order, get lunch, dinner, so it was okay. So I guess that if I go to a French speaking country, like probably in 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
I should be able to be fluent again.
And what's the language in Ethiopia again?
Amharic, impossible. Hey, let me do one thing. I'm running out of battery. Let me go and get the charger. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Because then, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
How are with your are you said that you are working with teachers too, right?
Yeah. Two.
Two teachers. Are they there or where are they? Where are
one
they
is
located?
in one is in Ghana, West
Okay.
Africa,
Yep. This is
and
from Ghana.
the other one is. Oh, really?
That's
How
from Ghana.
come?
I used to have some friends from Ghana through church way back when, but that actually came from a player that went and did a mission trip in Ghana, and she brought that back for me. And she's like, "This is what the kids were playing with, and it's made out of corn husk." So yeah. And where was the other one? Ghana and where else?
And one in London.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so by working with them, is it in the mental space or is it in like the application
Mm,
space?
a bit of both. A bit of
Okay.
both. Is
Okay.
I think the main target is are you in a good mental place to be able to perform as a teacher?
Yeah.
Because if you are not in a good mental place, so it's a little bit more also, yeah, applying strategies and how to deal with behavior, how to deal with learning. So basically, kind of like trying to be more effective in the classroom,
Yep.
and also a bit of like, yeah, your well-being. You need to be in a good place mentally and your well-being. And when I mean well-being, not only like physically, but also your emotions, also your mental side, also your financial well-being, something
Mhm.
that people don't consider, but it's very, very important for you to be in a good place, especially the older you get.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a little bit more. Those with the teachers is more mentoring than coaching. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's like sharing experiences and basically listening to them and kind of like providing guiding questions to find their own solutions. Because then teaching is, we are all different, right? But there are certain patterns that you can put in place or certain systems. But
Yeah.
also, I think you need to find whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Because we
Yeah.
are all very different, but no, very rewarding.
Yeah. Are you working with any coaches right now?
Yeah, I'm
Or
working with one coach in Spain. Yeah.
yeah.
Good. But
And it's
that's
the
the main.
same stuff. It's the exact same stuff, just
Yeah, the coach is more. In this case, we're working more on pre competition, post competition, and more dealing with regulations of emotions and negativity and difficult because he's coaching in the third tier in Spain. So it's you wanna build the process, but at the same time you need to get the results
want to try
because
to promote. Yeah. Yeah.
otherwise you lose your job. So how can
Is he
you?
coaching pros? Is he
Uh,
coaching at the pro level, the third tier?
yeah. 30, yeah. Like
Yeah.
full
Wow.
time employee, full time pay. Like they train in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
We
miss
used
that
to play.
level?
We used to play together as
Oh,
players.
all right.
Yeah. So
Do you
do I
miss
miss
what? Sorry.
do I miss coaching professional?
Yeah. Do you ever think that like if that opportunity ever comes up again, do you think that you would try to get into it, whether as an
Only
assistant or a head?
only if it was with a very good friend. Otherwise, not really. If it was with a good friend, and I mean, I like my lifestyle. I feel sometimes coaching is 24/7.
It
That was
is.
one of the things that I struggled when I was at Arsenal. It was 7 days a week, 24 hours, because then we'll play, let's say, on Sunday, but then Monday the players will have the day off, some of them. But then, for example, the ones that they didn't get into the squad, then they will go on Monday training. So I had to go on Monday and train them.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday the team is back, so then you're there. And
Yep.
then Saturday you're preparing pre-competition. You know what I mean? So it's quite stressful. And then the reality, and I guess is the same. I don't know if it's the same in college in America, but it's like you need to give an outcome. You need to perform. If you're not winning, no one
Yep.
cares about the process.
Yep.
No one
Especially at
cares
the higher
you.
levels. Yep. Especially at the higher levels. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
and it's like Casey, right? You're
yeah.
moving. You're moving a lot, and you're going to different
Where is
places.
Casey? Where is Casey now? I need to get in touch with him.
He's at Vanderbilt in Nashville. He's in Nashville. So he left UB. He spent a year at Michigan State, actually. He spent a year at Michigan State, and now he is the associate head coach at Vanderbilt. So he's like the number one assistant at Vanderbilt right now. Supposedly he's happy. I haven't talked to Casey, but I've talked to some guys that are really close with him, and he's very happy. Declan, you remember Declan?
Yeah.
Declan's at Penn State on the women's side.
Penn State is massive.
Yeah, they won a national title not too long ago. Probably 7 years ago now, 6 years ago. But yeah,
that's the type of people that I can help out.
Yeah, exactly. Or I haven't talked to him lately, but we would always keep in touch as Ben.
Ben, yeah. I need to send a message as well.
And Ryan Lewis.
With this thing that I'm doing now, that I think it's gonna build up and it's gonna get just massive. But I need to start making connection back with all the people. And I think once I connect with them again, you know what I mean? Because it's the same with you, right? It's been a long time no talking, but it was meaningful and it was truthful. So the moment you get back, then it will work out.
Yep. Ryan Louie would be a guy to reach out to, too. He's the head women's coach at Canisius. Trying to get him into here, but our just schedules haven't really worked out because I want to do a podcast with him.
Yeah. Because that will be nice, because I think I could potentially help those players.
The one I don't know where is Brian.
The coaches, definitely the coaches. You know what I mean? Like the coach is always alone. So basically, what I'm doing with my friends sometimes is this 75% is listening and just guiding the correct, like, reflective questions. You know what I mean? But then when I get the feedback from him, he's always like, this is massive, because he's kind of like organizing my mind. You know what I mean? Like, as a coach, you got this, especially when you lose, right? When you lose, everything is wrong. Right?
What are the biggest issues that he's dealing with? Is it that pressure? Is it the pressure of winning
and
losing and stuff?
It's pressure of winning and losing. Is the players that they are not playing. You know what I mean? It's the pressure of that's your life. Also, is your, you know what I mean? Like that's your salaries or so.
Absolutely. Now, when you're doing this with players or coaches, but especially with players, are you going to have them send you game film?
Yeah. Definitely, they can. It's more. It depends also on the player. You know what I mean? So
and when I've been what they need work on,
it's the same with the teachers and with the coaches that I've been working. It depends on the person. You know what I mean? Some of them, they might want me to watch the game and then talk about it. Some of them, they might just want to work on different processes to be like mentally stronger, different strategies. So for example, what I was just mentioning before, like I'm not performing in training today. Okay, the coach already called me 3 times my name.
Right.
Okay, what do you do? Do you carry on? Or if you work with me, like, we can find a strategy to change that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or maybe I didn't have a good training session. Are you going home and you're going to be disappointed, and then next day you go to school and then you're not paying attention, and it's having an influence on your academics as well.
Yeah.
Or can you cope? Do you have enough resilience, mental resilience, to cope with that adversity? All right. So what strategies can you use to change that? Right. Can you see the bigger picture? All right. I've been training in the past 12 weeks. I had one bad training session, so I don't care.
Yeah.
or I had one bad game. Who cares? You know what I mean? I think it's very individual, Jason. It's
Yep.
down to the person.
And it's going to be about really relationship building with you, right? You're going to build a relationship with these players and these coaches. And I mean, that's how, you
Yeah.
know.
And also, it's just to have as I said before, right? Like, can you mentally perform better than yesterday?
Yeah.
Because you're working on your physicality, you're working on your tactical or technical. How can we improve your mentality and your decision making?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
I'm
know what I
excited,
mean?
man. I'm really
Yeah,
excited for you.
I'm excited too, to be honest. Like, well, I've been excited for a few
Yeah.
months, few years.
Yeah.
I think it's just coming all together, right? Like, I'm in that point of my life where
When did you decide to pull the trigger on this? When did you decide to
uh,
say,
with,
I'm
with,
doing
with,
this?
with the mentoring of teacher, I've been doing that for probably now 5, 6 years, and I've
Okay.
always found it really helpful and very rewarding and very because then what you were saying, like, you make relationships with them
Yep.
and then you connect, and then in terms of sports or football, I've always been doing this. The only thing is that I probably never call it like mental toughness or mental resilience or mental coaching, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
But I always, like, when I was at Arsenal, I remember when I left, I had like 3 or 4 letters from 3 or 4 different players, and they gave me like one of them. I remember she gave me like her England jersey of her debut. You know what I mean? Like, so I was doing like mentoring and coaching them as part of the team. You know what I mean? But individually, like coaching that mental side of the game.
Right.
But
I
then
feel
I never realized that I was doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's missing in in a lot of youth coaches, and after talking to a lot of our college players, I feel that that's missing. That a relationship with your coach that is like trusting and um, just helping in the mentorship part of it, and the a positive influence like you that says it's going to be okay. You just need to do this, this, and this, and
Yeah.
then it just opens up. And yeah, I mean,
And
you did
also,
that for me. You did that for me back in the day.
yeah, but you
You're
see what I
talking
mean?
about that, like you're saying about like, why are you allowing somebody outside of you to affect your day? And I
Yeah,
say that to players all the time, and I'm like, oh, I got that from Jose.
yeah. But that's the thing, right? I think it's probably I've been doing it my whole life, and I've never realized. Do you know what I mean? But this is the thing as well. Like, sometimes in football, there are other things like, are you like, first of all, why you're not in a good mental place? Why you're not performing?
Right,
Maybe it's something behind, right? Like, are you sleeping properly? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you just showing up to training session just to have a little bit of fun, or what is your goal? What is your goal this season?
right,
What are you focusing on?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and then once you know your goal, you need to set goals, right? How can we how can we measure that goal? So what actions we need to do to reach that goal? Or you're just gonna go to college, so you got your full scholarship, and you just go to play football, right? That's it. So
right.
you need to be working with that coach or with that team, with the assistant coach. Do they know? Do you know what the assistant coach and the manager they need from you on the pitch?
Right.
Have you asked that question?
No, I mean,
I don't know.
they
I'm
need that.
just,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, do you know, like, your team identity? Then how do you fit there?
Yeah.
Because I guess that's, and this is a deeper conversation, right? But So, for example, what type of player are you? And then what college you're gonna go to play,
Yeah.
right? I was talking to one of my friends in Spain. He's a football agent, and then we just sometimes we talk about like players that, and then, all right, so now you're gonna go on loan, all right? So you've been playing Real Madrid Youth Academy for 11 years, and now you're gonna go and play on loan, second division.
Yeah.
Where are you going on loan? You know what I mean? Like, is that football manager, is that football coach gonna play young players? Is that the way that they play? Does it fit you as a player? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe these things are happening, and before they sign for Penn State, you know what I mean? They know, all right, this is because sometimes I don't know. I guess like the scouting as well, like the coaches, they will be looking for a type of player, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Right. And
For me, what it blows my mind is that if you think about, so you've been, let's say you have 12 years old, you are 12 years old.
yeah.
And then next 6 years old, you're going to focus on trying to get a scholarship.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're investing a lot of money in traveling, in one-to-one football coaching sessions, blah, 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 individualized training. And then you don't take care of your mental state of the game. You don't take care of your mental part of the game.
I mean, yeah. And
What can I say?
I'll be honest with you, there is a club nearby. I'm not going to name names, but there are players of theirs that are actively seeking mental health professionals because some of their coaches are so brutal on them. To be honest with you, they're brutal.
But
and
then,
that you're going to be perfect for those kids that watch this because they need it. And it's frustrating.
and you need to find the tools as well. You know what I mean? As a player, you need to find the tools to deal with pressure. I'm not saying that to be brutal as a coach is correct. I cannot give an opinion because I don't know the coaches. Or
Right.
what I'm saying is it's competitive and it's pressure. So you need to learn how to deal with pressure if you want to go to the next level. And I'm not even talking. Imagine if you want to play for the national team, right? Like then you'll be playing finals in front of million people on TV, and then again, like if we talk about social media pressure, we don't even start. But then you need to work on your mental side, on your mindset. It's just to me it blows my mind that that we don't put any time. How many hours? So let's say like, I don't know, just give me one player that you might be coaching. How many hours a week they put on the football field?
There's some that will train with their club team 3 times, and then they are with multiple trainers like me in a one-on-one setting 3 other times. So you're talking 6 sessions, and we're talking 10 hours of training, but they're mentally shot. They're mentally exhausted. They're mentally and physically exhausted.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying is you're not taking care of your mindset for 45 minutes a week.
Right. And you would be better off sitting out one of the sessions and going and working with somebody like you and really get your mental locked in.
Yeah. And also your strategies to cope with those situations that you struggle on the football pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what I was mentioning to you before about, you need to focus, but it's more about grounding. It's more about feeling what do I need to focus on exactly to be able to be successful at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I need to go and get another charger. This one is not charging. I got 2% battery. Give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
I cannot find the other charger. Do you think can I connect from my laptop? From my iPhone? If I open the link?
I don't know. Or we could just end this one and then
Do another one?
I mean, I think everything that we've talked about over the 2 sessions is perfect, and
Okay.
is a perfect starting point. And then maybe
Yep.
in a month or 2, we hop on and do another call.
Yeah,
You know
that'll
what I
be
mean?
awesome. I
Yep.
would really appreciate like if we can do another one
Yeah, man.
because it's a lot of things that we can talk about. Maybe more what type of strategies, you know what I mean? Like talking about
Business
visual,
strategies and stuff.
yeah, different strategies that you can use pre-competition, post-competition, during competition. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's more like, as I
How to deal
said, like
how about how to deal with parents? How to deal with you
as
know,
as as coaches or as players.
as players,
Yeah,
the parents that are kind of like really putting pressure on them,
yeah,
we deal a lot with that. Um, there's tons of ways you can really attack this, with dealing with teammates, dealing with coaches, dealing with your personal, make sure that everything is good outside. I had a player in here who just transferred from Tampa Bay, Florida, to kind of in a completely different area of Florida, and she is so much happier just because it's safer. Just because it's
yeah.
safer, just her mental health is better because she can leave campus and walk to the beach and feel safe.
But that's
Versus,
exactly what I was saying, right? Are you choosing the right place to go, right?
exactly, and that's something that a lot of players need to um, need help with as well. Is just making sure that they're looking at the big picture, not just
Yeah,
looking at just I'm a soccer player and going to play soccer.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And you need to be in a good place, the big picture, in order to perform as a teacher, as a coach, as a player, as a running a business, whatever it is. Jason, I got 1% battery.
all right, buddy.
So how does it work? You'll post it on whenever. Can
Yep,
I
I
can
will.
I watch it? Can you send it to me before you post it?
Yes, I will. I will edit it. Let's see. Let me let you know the date. It's going to be next Monday. So
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. I'll start editing it probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it should be available for you by Friday, and
Okay.
then I'll send you the link. It's going to be on YouTube. You have YouTube?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I'll watch it. I'm pretty sure everything is fine.
Yep.
Just a few things about the school that you
Yep.
know what I mean? Yeah,
Yep.
but
And
that's
then what you'll do is just tell me the time
okay.
stamps that you maybe want me to edit out,
Yeah,
and then we go from there.
yeah. Okay, cool. Do you think it's been good? Just
I think
a
it's
little bit my
great.
first experience.
Well, think about it. I mean, our first one was an hour. I haven't edited any of that, but there was a lot of good stuff in that one too, and this one
Yeah,
was even better. So, I
yeah.
mean, I mean,
Awesome.
so
Yeah.
all right, brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Yep,
this.
yep. Thanks for getting in contact with me, man.
Yeah.
And
And let's do more stuff together.
I'll tell you
100%.
what, personally, doing this podcast has put me in a better mental space because I'm talking to people more and about the game and stuff,
Yeah.
and then it got me back in contact with you and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Win-win.
so all right,
All right.
brother, I appreciate you.
All right. Same to you. Love you. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. See.
I hate soccer.